Hampton residents deserve the numbers behind the decisions. Hampton can put a number in a budget, but if you're looking at the number thinking, okay, what does that actually mean? That's the part that I care about. Because when a government is spending your money, I don't think the conversation should end with somebody tells you how much something costs. I want you to understand what you're getting for it. My name is Aaron Thomas Weaver, and as usual, we got to talk. So I was at Hampton City Council, as I normally am, on April 22nd, 2026, and I ended up speaking a few different times that night. And there were two things in particular that really brought this issue home for me. It took it home. The first was the Aquaplex. I'm old enough to be in this city to remember when it was the $30 million gym, and that had some residents did not want that and spoke out against that. But in the recommended budget, the Hampton Coliseum, the Arts Commission, and the Aquaplex are all grouped together as an enterprise fund of about $27.7 million. Now, imagine you're sitting at the table and you want to know one simple thing. How much is the Aquaplex actually doing? That combined number doesn't really answer that for you or us. So I asked them, break the Aquaplex out. I wanted to see what it was bringing in, what it was costing, and what the plan looked like going forward. Because once you have that information, you now can actually look at it and make a judgment for yourself.
Aaron Weaver, the city manager's recommended budget includes the Hampton Coliseum, Arts Commission, and the Aquaplex. Didn't hit play. One enterprise fund with a total of federal year 27 budget of about $27.7 million. That includes the operating revenue of $5.47 and retained earnings of about $1.6 million from the general fund. So while this is structured as an enterprise operation, it's not fully sustained by like its own revenue. Last year, I specifically was standing right here, well, right there, I asked about the Aquaplex specifically, and the response was that it just transferred to the city from another organization, so there was no clear numbers yet. Now we have a full year later, and those numbers should exist. So my question is direct with what the actual net operating result of the Aquaplex alone, not combined with the Coliseum and the other facilities, but the Aquaplex itself. How much revenue is that generating? How much does it cost to operate? How much does the taxpayer support, if any, is required to keep it running? We often hear about the Aquaplex as an economic driver, and if that's the case, then we should be able to measure that. We should be able to see that return on investment. And what is the long-term plan? Is that goal for it to become self-sustaining, or is it expected to remain a partially subsidized asset? This is not about being against the Aquaplex, it is about transparency. Because when residents are seeing increased costs with no tax relief, as we know, $1.14, we have to be clear about where that money is going. What is it producing? Right now, everything is grouped together in that category. That makes it difficult to evaluate. So my ask is simple. Break out the Aquaplex for me, or at least for us in general. Show the revenue, show the expenses, and show the plan moving forward for that location. Thank you.
And City Manager Button did an amazing job getting me over that information as well. But that's what I mean when I talk about public clarity. I don't want you to take my word for it, whether something is working. I give you the information, explain it, and let you see it for yourself. Later that same night, we got to Hampton's Capital Improvement Plan. That number was about $489 million for the fiscal year 2027, nearly $500 million. And when I saw the number that large, my reaction was basically, okay, what's behind it? Because I was there last year, the year before that as well too. But what was behind it? Because the number was right there, but there were parts of it that still didn't have enough information to understand what we were actually talking about. One of those was the $1 million connected to the golf course improvements. And I remember asking which golf course, because that's the kind of detail that changes your understanding of the number. If I tell you we're spending millions of dollars on something, but I can't tell you clearly what we're doing with it, then I haven't really explained the decision to you. And that night I said something that really captures the way I look at this. The numbers are there. Now we need the answers to what's behind them.
Aaron Weaver, the federal year 27 capital improvement plan is about $489 million according to the CIP presentation that we saw. Family resilience and economic empowerment receives $3.5 million, which is just 0.7% of that total as shown on page 7 of the CIP presentation. That category includes temporary homeless housing and tiny homes and $2.5 million for the Riverside Psychiatric Emergency Department. Now, in the detailed CIP, that breaks down to $500,000 in federal year 27 and $2 million in 28. So my question is, with that federal year 27 500, is that for planning, design, land acquisition, or actual construction? Has the site already been identified, purchased? Who will build, own, operate the tiny homes once completed? And next, under placemaking, the CIP presentation shows that the 52.8 million, or 10.8% of that total plan on page 7, is CIP list. 10 million of that is for a golf course renovation, shown on page 22. My question is, with that $10 million, is that for the Hamptons golf course, or is that for Woodlands golf course, or both? What specific infrastructure is being replaced? What measurable return on investment are we expecting from that investment? And next, under the same placemaking category, $850,000 of that is for therapeutic recreation center renovations, shown on page 23 of that. The description focuses on interior upgrades and system improvements, but I raised the question last year that the facility sits back off of Kickertan Road. Unless you already know it's there, you will drive right by it and never know it's even there. So my question is, does that $850,000 include a permanent monument sign on or any exterior visibility improvements? And if not, then that cannot be added to this project scope of work before it's finalized. Then my broader question is, with the family resilience is only 0.7% of nearly $489 million of that, is how do we determine what level of investment is enough given the real needs we see every day in housing, homelessness, which I came here so much for, behavioral health? I'm not asking to remove projects. I'm asking for clarity. Are we building? Where is it going? Who is responsible? And what outcomes should the residents expect? Because the numbers are there. Now we need the answers to what's behind them. Thank you.
And that's really what I want you to take away from this. I know you're probably not sitting at home reading hundreds of pages of a city budget. Most people aren't. You got your own life, but the decisions inside those pages still reach your life. Your tax dollars, your public facilities, they're the things that your city chooses to prioritize. So I think government has a responsibility to make that understandable. And there's a difference between information being available and information being understandable. You can put a document online. You can hold a meeting. You can put a number on the slide. And somebody can still walk away thinking, I still don't know what the heck that means. But that's where leadership has to do more. City Manager Button does an amazing job at what she does. But I also think the council needs to do some more talking from the diocese. Explain the decision to me like I'm a resident trying to understand what you're doing with my money. And then after we've spent it, come back and tell me what happened. Because that's the other part of this. Approving the money isn't where accountability ends. I want to know what happened afterwards. Did we get what we thought we were going to get? Did it perform the way we expected? And if it didn't, what did we learn from it? Like the Aquaplex. That's how I think about progress too. If somebody tells you something is progress, you should be able to see what changed. You shouldn't have to accept the word because somebody said it. They used it. And sometimes we're going to look at the result and say, yeah, that worked. Keep doing it. And sometimes we're going to realize something needs to change. Then change it. That's the job. If I'm elected to Hampton City Council, I'm going to be one of 7 people sitting up there. I can't tell you how 6 other people are going to vote, but I can tell you what I am responsible for. I can prepare. I can ask the question when something doesn't make sense. I can cast my vote and I can explain that vote to you afterwards and during. which that's what I already told you in my 8-point plan. I'm going to explain it from the diocese, and I'm going to make a video afterwards. Because if I'm making decisions with your money, you deserve to understand why I made them. And I expect you to hold me to that. So the next time you hear a big number coming out of City Hall, don't let that number be the end of the conversation. Understand what's behind it, because residents deserve more than a number on a page. Give us the number, then give us the why behind it.